Hello, all you out there in Facebook and YouTube land. It's me, your annoying neighborhood village idiot, I guess you'd say. I don't care. It's self-deprecating humor, right? Okay. Right now, we're watching the Dallas Cowboys versus Tennessee Titans game. The Cowboys actually showed some life. I mean, more life than they usually show. How unusual is that? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. NFL's running pretty weird. Some of the top teams are actually losing games in the first few weeks of the regular season. There's a bunch of speculation as to why that could be. Players not being up to what they need to be, blah, blah, blah. But I think most of it comes down to injuries. And like any good team, if all your good guys are down with injuries, you're not going anywhere. Let's see. Then there's the interesting political side of everything, with ISIS threatening to behead people and whatnot. I will say this, for all the people who are bleeding hearts and believe that we should send them money to make them stop killing people, that's why we don't send them money. That puts value on an American life. At least in that situation, do I think that $20 million is enough is enough to pay for a soldier? Hell no. With the exception of maybe that Bergdahl guy, who I believe should be court-martialed and shouldn't have been released. His parents, friends, and family may differ from my opinion, but I don't care. This is why this is my thing. Most of the time, the reason people think that we should bargain with terrorists, no, we don't bargain with terrorists because that puts a price on our citizens' lives, and that is wrong. Then you're equating life to a price tag. And yes, in good fun for charity, normally we do stuff like that, but in real life, no. Just because one reporter gets killed, then two American reporters get killed, and all of a sudden, yes, we need to pay off the terrorists. Why? Because then they're going to just keep asking for more and more and more money. If you people are honestly that dumb, maybe you shouldn't be citizens. Yes, what they're doing is ghastly. It's supposed to be. It's sending a message. But our message is, don't mess with our citizens, otherwise we will come after you and we will eliminate you off the face of the planet. That's the message we need to be delivering. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. It's becoming bewildering, and then the whole putting sanctions on all the countries that could be hiding ISIS or aiding ISIS. Then on top of that, the heavy sanctions in the Ukraine, Russia, whatever we want to call it. It's not going to work unless you do something so dramatic it shocks the Russians into doing something different. My personal opinion is, I think Vladimir Putin's trying to bring back the Cold War. He's used to the Cold War. Back when everybody was keeping secrecy, nation against nation, and have your knife up to the throat of the other nation, threatening to kill them. And then, I hate to say it, I'm going to bring it up anyway. Then there's the Obama haters. You know who you are. Some of you think Obama's a piece of crap. Others of you have have different and varied opinions on him. I just want to say that, even my own dad thinks that Obama's a lame duck president, and everybody blames ObamaCare on fast food places not being able to provide health care. Okay, then riddle me this. For McDonald's, which is a multi-billion dollar corporation, that's 9 zeros before you get to any other number. Billion starts with 9 zeros. And then there's a 1. It starts with a 1, followed by 9 zeros. That's the way it is. They make that much money worldwide. They're at least, any given year they come up with $20 billion. Now, given that, they don't want to do wage increases. They don't want to do health insurance now. But if you make it to manager, because it takes like 2 years to become a manager, from ordinary crew member, crew leader, to a manager, it takes 2 years. 2. Yes, 2. At least at McDonald's anyway, because you have to go to school. Even if you pass high school, you still have to go to school to learn how to manage a restaurant. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, for people blaming ObamaCare for ending the availability of health care on the market, shenanigans. It's not too expensive. Companies just don't want to pay for it. A lot of companies will lose a buttload of money if they pay for health care. And McDonald's, yes, in some cities they maybe pay more than minimum wage, but that's not all across the goddamn country. Okay? McDonald's pays minimum wage or lower if they can help it, especially if you're illegal. They will pay you under. You're stupid if you don't know that. But I know a lot of you are. A lot of you are smart enough to get minimum wage. But for a multi-billion dollar corporation and multinational company like McDonald's, if you're only hiring like 30 or 40, make it 50 employees per store, and you're hiring a bunch of teenagers and a bunch of illegals to make your workforce up because nobody else will work for free. You won't give anybody a decent raise. A fucking nickel raise is not a raise. A nickel raise is a drop in a bucket when most rent around here starts out at $300. Starts out at $300. What in the hell is McDonald's thinking if you get somebody scheduled for part-time for minimum wage, and even if they're by themselves, they still have to come up with that $300, which means they have to make at least 20 hours to hit that goal every month. That's just to pay rent. Now, if 300 is all bills paid and everything like that, great. I'm glad you found it, but you're honestly probably living in a really shitty part of town. But yeah, why can't a multi-billion-dollar corporation pay more? I mean, if they have already acknowledged that by the lawsuit settlements that have come out, they've already acknowledged that their food makes people fat. Their food makes their customers unhealthy if their clients don't do anything but eat McDonald's food. If they sit on their ass driving around all day and eating McDonald's, yes, they're going to gain weight. Yes, they're going to die prematurely. It's almost a guaranteed fact that's what they're going to do. That notwithstanding, then on top of that, they, from what I've heard, I'm not sure how reliable it is, but several of you have told me that Walmart openly, certain McDonald's openly admit to wanting their employees to be on welfare so they don't have to pay them. Well, that's making the government responsible for paying them instead of McDonald's paying them. I don't know about you, but isn't that kind of against the American way? Like, wrap your head around it. They just like I've heard the same thing about Walmart. If Walmart and McDonald's don't want to pay their employees a living wage that they can live off of, and they openly say that we encourage our employees to get on welfare. Okay, the sad part about welfare is welfare, you can only get so much covered by welfare. Why can't employers just bite the bullet, hire people full time, raise the prices on their products? As much as it sucks, they have to raise prices to be able to cover the employees getting paid more and to cover everything else. And as much as everybody loves buying cheap things, that's the way it is. You cannot have low prices all the time, and then have full-time, well-paid employees, or employees that are paid so they can actually live off of what they're making. Okay, let's not get that wrong. But therein is the problem. You can't have cheap without having just part-time. Period. And a lot of places are not offering health coverage because of ObamaCare. Well, that's because your company sucks. If you've got 50 employees, like most McDonald's do, if you have even more than 20, why wouldn't you offer health care? Because the managers and the corporations want to make sure they get their big fat damn bonuses. The owners want to keep making profit. But I'm going to get off of here. I will be back for a second installment here in just a few minutes. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Stay insane.